Hello, Blue. Hello, too old for tea? Is that what your name says? Too old for tea. Too old for tea. So strange thing to be. It's too old for tea. Right, let me just look at Veto quickly. If there's any narrative around Veto. So Team Liquid always going bad Pearl. Good map ban versus BBL anyway. Team Liquid like Split. So they pick Split. So good prep from BBL to win on that map. BBL ban Lotus. Guess that makes sense. It guarantees the split pick, and they prepped against it specifically. Picking Haven versus Team Liquid. I think that makes sense. That's a good map pick versus Team Liquid. BBL should have won this map, right? From what I remember. I'm just refreshing myself. So I think I have watched this. Good map pick for BBL. Should have won. Yeah, BBL should have won this game. You can't sub? What? Hey, Sasori. Hello, Matt. Matt with a deep voice. The Hasapun fan. Kimmy Rage. I like names like Kimmy Rage because I can read them very easily, and I'm a stupid. Fracture Remains. Hello, Titanic. Titanic? Fracture Remains. Fracture Remains. Team Liquid ban Icebox. BBL banners. That all makes sense. All logical. Fracture Remaining. I mean, you'd favor Liquid here. I thought it was going to be a 2-1 to Team Liquid with BBL taking the first, BBL taking the Team Liquid taking the second, and then Team Liquid taking the third. So I thought it was going to go BBL win that, TL win this, and then TL win this. But it went the other way around a little bit. They swapped the maps around. I think BBL should have won this game 2-0. Let me write my notes down. I guess maybe I should find some clips for PLATCHAT, maybe. I could find some messy clips from Haven, and maybe some clips where the comp was making Team Liquid struggle on Split, but I wasn't really sure why Team Liquid were struggling as much as they did on Split. So we could have a look for those things. Messy. The other messy. How do I get rid of this? You see I'm using this dashboard thing. How do I get rid of this? Edit layout. I want to get rid of this. Oh, there we go. I can just bin it. There we go. All good. We're looking good now. Looking good. Thank you, Maury. Thank you for the sub. Oh, it's the 2 times. It's the 2 times. Is that... Hey, True Bunt. G2 Send is postponed. Yeah, so unfortunately, I forgot. I had a very busy day yesterday. A very interesting day yesterday, but a very busy day. And so about midnight, I just come off of some calls, and I realized that I had agreed to go on PLATCHAT today. And so I also had a meeting this morning. So I had another meeting this morning, and I realized that I hadn't done any preparation for PLATCHAT. I didn't know much. I just went through all the shit, and I was like, okay, well, I need to refresh my memory on some of these games. So I'm gonna focus on that, and then after PLATCHAT, I'll do the G2 Sentinels review. It might not be straight after PLATCHAT. I might take a little break, but I'll do it later on. I think PLATCHAT's at 4 p.m. my time. Let me see. Yeah, 4 p.m. Okay, so let me set my alarm for 3:45 just in case. I've watched. Did I watch G2 Sen already? Oh shit. Okay. There we go. I think I've already watched this too, right? But I need to lock in a bit more. So the question to me is why? What did Team Liquid try to achieve with this composition, and then why did BBL lose the game when they looked like they should have won? From what I remember, it was like a lack of A main control. Like the comp can't fight for A main. Like, because the comp can't fight for A main, let me try to explain. So because the comp can't, like this line shouldn't be common for Team Liquid to get and feel comfortable on. Thank you, Beast, for the sub. So to me, if BBL just pushed off Team Liquid behind this line up here, all they're gonna have on the map is this, like, if this makes sense. So every single round, I would start off by having Team Liquid have to play the map from this space only, and then also take away garage from them too. Like, so all of this space should end up, if I was to make a game plan, I feel like I would try to take all this space away from from Team Liquid with very little threat. I feel like the garage threat is a little bit harder. There is a deadlock tail happening a little bit, so maybe I'm being a bit optimistic here. But as soon as you have control of that amount of space on the map, every single round, at 1 minute like 15 or 20 or something, like probably like 1 minute 15, right? They have 1 minute and 15 seconds to do anything that they want to on the map and manipulate the rotations. Like, Team Liquid's comp cannot re-clear the space that well because they have the double sensi. So all BBL needs to do, I think, is immediately win the A main fight. Make sure that deadlock wall doesn't just go down and just win them the Team Liquid the round. And then fake a little bit of pressure somewhere and go somewhere else. Start to make reads on where the sentinels are, because they might be able to walk into sites. Like if they see a ciphers on A, most of the time you can just walk into the site. I feel like good mid-rounding from BBL would beat this composition on this map. There's a reason why Vice Chamber is the best double sentinel comp mini. I feel like playing all these deadlock cipher comps actually restricts you from having hard influence transitional space, especially on Haven. Yeah, it's almost like the deadlock double sentinel comps force you to play turtled up behind like a very passive line, and when there's 3 bomb sites on the map, you don't have enough sentinel util to cover all 3 bomb sites. And so you're going to be playing retake a lot against a good mid-rounding team, and the comp doesn't have good mid-rounding tools. Retaking tools, sorry. Hi, Manny, just saw your VODs. You're not a fan of running KO. Why is it they think that an agent that could turn off abilities is not that good? Because you cannot consistently turn off the abilities of agents that matter. Quite often on maps, KO cannot turn off the abilities of agents that matter. On your attack side, trying to find the sentinel to hit them with knives is very hard. And most good teams will have anti-knife protocols. Well, they should have anti-knife protocols to deal with common knives that might fuck you. So like on Icebox, for instance, in Fnatic, we had very specific anti-knife protocols where one player would be designated to break specific knives on B, and one person would be designated to break specific knives on A. And so you just end up not getting any value. On Ascent, I feel like because you could throw them at the walls and on top of roofs, it works a little bit differently. But yeah, so then you look at the flash, and I think the flash is very overrated. Hey, Body Jeep. Yeah, congrats, bro. Congrats. Anyway, back to the VOD. So I don't know if I'm doing a good job of explaining it, but I really think that BBL, if they were able to just, I would win the A fight, and then control all of this part of the map, and then go into a mode of like so step 1, take A. Like, so push off the Yoru from the line. In other compositions, this defensive Yoru is going to have support from a breach, maybe from an ISO Sova. Like, the only support he could have is Deadlock Tail, and I don't think the Deadlock net is enough on this space to actually win the A fight. I don't think the Deadlock net is big enough, so I think it could be avoided. So for BBL, it should be step 1, take A. Step 2, break Deadlock wall. And garage control. Step 3, fake / mid-round. Like, there's going to be a weak spot on the map. You have enough map control to start thinking about where the defense might be. You have enough map control to start manipulating rotations. So this should be BBL's game plan against this comp. I don't think that we're gonna. I don't remember seeing that specifically.
Creeping closer and closer here. PLATCHAT some utility to play off. Batty will catch a pistol poking out. Yampy will fall. Spike noted as well.
You're not going to get away with those kind of dry hits, right? Trying to just.
So how would I explain that? So hard to fight for a main.
Lovely player advantage.
Good.
Security for the plant. Look at the post plant here. Still a little bit of util in play. Smoke goes down towards B main, but you can see what BBL wants to do. Take space elsewhere. Nice jump spot, at least from the connector side, so they're keeping that in mind. Drop of the smoke though, Serial. Gotta be cautious. Oh! What a snap from Levin. Nice jump.
Jet. For a moment there, looks like it was going to be a little.
Hey, yes sir.
Around, but yeah, seeing what he can.
Chamber Vice is way better than Deadlock Cypher. So like the Chamber Vice, from what I'm saying, so what I'm saying is like the line being drawn almost at the start of the round is going to be something like this for the Deadlock Cypher. Whereas for the chamber comp can literally, you know, it might even be like this most of the time. The chamber comp could absolutely play around stuff here and play around stuff here. The chamber with device can, you know, do stuff better here and here, in my opinion, which are the key points on the map. The Vice rule could be used, the Vice flashes could be used to get back onto lines. To be honest with you, I've not really sat down and thought too hard about Chamber Vice on this map specifically, but the tools are there in order to be more aggressive and to play for these kind of spaces, you know, or even, you know, these kind of spaces. The Yoru can kind of do it solo a little bit, but it's not as effective, I don't think.
Struggled previously on the jet.
And Silong. Yeah, true. I guess coming down to these angles here. Do you think that every map has one objective way of playing and people who get close to that win? Or do you think there's multiple ways of playing each map and creativity is a big aspect? I think that like there's a scale, right? I think if you put it on a scale of like one way versus like anything can work. This is like a really interesting, like, I think that this is almost like, you know, there's like political scales which are like that, and you put people into different boxes and stuff. I really think that this is a way that I think about people in Valorant sometimes. I think that people like me are much like, we're like hard left, like quite hard left on this. And then you see people like Eng, who are like over here. I think that the majority of Valorant, like if this is center, the majority of people I watch in Valorant are around here. They're right wing. Average Valo enjoyer. I think the average Valorant enjoyer is closer to this narrative. I think because they don't understand the game well enough, or don't have the vision I have of the game. I would imagine Anders is probably like even like here. Anders is like borderline leftist revolution over here. Yeah. Like I guess what I'm trying to say though is that the way I view it is just, how do you increase your percentage chance of winning? Right? So absolutely, T1 can win a trophy playing double duelist. But in the long run, is that a consistent way to play the game? Is that the most optimal way to play the game? No. Would I value comfort over optimal gameplay? Personally, as a coach, I would not. I think that optimal gameplay beats comfort because I trust myself and I trust my players to be able to adapt to the optimal way to play the game, or at least what I think is more optimal than just playing comfort. So if we look historically at, you know, comfort agents, you're going to be looking at agents like Jet, KO, you know, agents that right now are kind of dog shit, in my opinion. Absolutely, a Jet main could win a trophy right now. A KO main could win a trophy right now, but that doesn't mean that it's the best way to play, and I don't think it's the way you should set up your team. I guess this is a different point too, is that, you know, we often talk about players and what they're comfortable with for the style of team. I think that there's a bigger discussion to be had with coaches and what they're comfortable with. I think there's a lot of coaches who are not comfortable with the idea of playing towards what I think is optimal, and it's more their fault a lot of the time as to why teams are forced into playing comfort situations. I think you have to really understand the game deeply to be able to play towards what is the best on the server. And that's why I'm very excited to watch G2 at Toronto, because I think that without the Teo meta, people are going to go back to quote comfort things, and I think G2 will probably run some stuff that isn't so comfort based. Like, I don't think they're going to go double initiate. Like, double initiate would be the kind of most bread and butter standard, I think. Some teams will run deadlock cipher stuff, which I don't think they'll run. So I'll be very interested to see what they run, and if they just immediately have a grasp on what is optimal in the meta. Thank you, Hazuki. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been getting a lot more viewers recently, so I do really appreciate love for the stream. Apart from VOD review matches, can you pick a player whom you think is better in specific agents and VOD review their gameplay? I mean, I can do something like that at some point, but it's almost impossible because you know. Where is Boaster? Wait 1 sec. Boaster on the scale would be he'd be like just to my right a little bit, I think. Boaster's more reasonable about it. He's probably like here, to be honest. Probably like in between these two. Like he's still on board on my side. Definitely on my side of things. But Boaster's a little bit more creative, open brain, like a bit more creatively open about certain things. And so we'll suggest things that sound chaotically insane to me sometimes. Yeah, like my problem is sometimes I don't think through, I disregard things a little bit quicker, and he sometimes will have a bit of a creative, chaotic brain thing going on, and so we balance each other out quite well. I think JT's put a good point there. So for the Vice Chamber, the biggest weakness of Chamber is that if you force him to TP whilst he's on the weak side, so let's say, this is not the best map to think about, but let's say that Chamber is playing solo C. We've got the Chamber playing here, and the attack is rushing here, and he TPs away. Now the attack has a free bomb site, essentially, because the Chamber's by himself with no support. Whereas the Vice would then be able to provide either a wall or thorns, and maybe even a flash to support the Chamber, delay the rush happening, and to maybe get Chamber back to a position that might be valid with the flash. There's also dynamic ways to play it. Some teams are a bit more dynamic than others. Opinions about Camo? I think Camo's fine as a player. I think that right now Team Liquid have Kiko and Nats doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Yeah. Would Webbers and Nil be on the right? I think that Weber and Nils are probably center right. Probably center right. Maybe more in the middle. I'm not sure. The problem is that the language people use in interviews does not reflect necessarily, like when people do say like we'd rather play for comfort here, or like Mini Boo or Neon, like it, I get it. You know what I mean? I do get it. What about Sliggy? Sliggy's more on the Sliggy's on the right, I think. I don't know about Woodson. Like Sliggy would be on the right, quite a lot. Sliggy's more focused on interactions between agents' utility, combinations, and micro, which means that he's more willing to have agents that kind of combine well, whereas I often think that those agents who combine well don't always do the best things across the map, if that makes sense. I can't answer this for everyone. Like, I don't want to be clip farmed talking about the the right wing nature of coaches. Right, we're gonna continue with what?
Creeping closer and closer here. PLATCHAT.
Yeah, Sliggy. Sorry, I can't say that. Can't say that. Cannot say that. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah. Let's just say I would have got fired if I said out loud what I. Okay, right. So we might be a bit of a quicker VOD review because I have watched this game before, I think on stream, and I do have some memories of. What was happening? Hello, Matteo. If this is
the pin on this, but Evan,
Composition viability? What would this
that's not
be?
gonna happen. Liquid cleaning up there.
I think this
Very
would be
well placed break in
structure,
the end.
right?
Again, you look at them depending on that utility. Didn't need
Like,
to
Yeah,
destroy that
loose
Satchel C at any point.
versus structure.
Yeah, I've got a couple of rounds here at the start to maybe figure out some of
This
the
would be
how they want to approach things. Whether or not it's going to
like
be
anything
I assume that maybe it's not the composition they've prepped for.
Yes.
It's something that
optimal.
to be aware of and be able to adjust.
If you know what I mean.
accordingly.
Structure. I think I'm.
Sharp from the other POV as well.
I think I'm up. Actually, I think I might be. I think I might be up here. I think I might be fucking.
Their star, BBL.
Fucking Stalin's got nothing on me right here.
Let's have ultimate available.
They get to counter with the clone. Obviously, you're seeing that ISO online. It does become something you keep in mind here. I don't know if it's really going to be necessary. Here. Obviously, you're seeing that ISO online. It does become something you keep in mind here. I don't know if it's really going to be necessary. At this point, yeah, not going to find a soul here. Do you look seen beyond that, still on the verge. Someone does over deliver. Certainly add away, but beyond that, still on the verge.
I mean, this is just kind of bad, right?
No progress through here. No
What does structure mean here? Like set structure. Like structure. So structured teams would be like Fnatic, G2. Loose teams would be like PaperX. Would Liquid fall into this? I think this is why I think that in Valorant, structure beats not structure. I know that PaperX's identity is based on looseness, so like I understand all that. But I would say that Team Liquid would be up minimum Team Liquid would be like around that line minimum, I'd say. I think most of the teams going to Toronto would be would probably be above this line or between these two lines. Most of the teams that do not make it to Toronto are probably between these lines. Western teams who go to international events regularly are in this category for sure. Teams in the Chinese teams are a bit more. They're not loose, but like they don't have the best structure at times. I'd have to watch BLG and Wolves, but like from what I remember from anti-striking teams last year, TH and Sen would be up here. I think less so, like they'd be at least on this line, I think. Maybe slightly lower, like if we to divide it into like maybe quarters, like I think minimum would be this line for most teams going to Toronto from the West. I don't think the axis makes sense since you're framing it as one being straight up better than the other, than a style difference. No, it does make sense. What I'm saying is it is a style difference, but I think the style difference that wins is this style. Like, it can be a stylistic difference, and I still think that, you know, subjectively, I guess, that this is better. But I think I am backed up here by teams that win trophies and teams that make top 4 global events are consistently ones that have structure.
for BBL.
Of course, again, it's all about percentages. It's all about percentages and consistency. A team that doesn't have structure can absolutely win an event. A team that doesn't have the best structure can win a global event. But to consistently be good at Valorant, There is a reason why a team like Fnatic is consistently good.
Doing that through so many tools for
You know,
Liquid to
players help, but structure also is
They are pulling
trying to
Plat out
guarantee
towards
that
the
success.
center. Oh my god, the timing serial.
some of this utility. That's what's going to for Liquid to play off of.
Some teams try to play with structure, I guess. They just don't have good structure, so I don't know how to
Oh
frame
my
that.
god, the timing serial. Oh, this is
Lucky to
really
get away with
tricky.
that.
Yeah, sociable actually
lucky.
tonight.
What does it mean to be a structure team? like, if I looked at their Valoplant pages, they would have very clear Valoplant pages for lots of different ideas and protocols, and they'd have rigorous protocols.
Only off his own paranoia, which
When I watch them play, they don't just do random shit on their defense. They actually have setups that they run, and they have clear ideas why they're running them, and they have clear protocols to deal with certain things that they're seeing against the opponent, and they have certain reactions they'll do. They have set retakes, they have flood retakes. They know how to play disadvantages. They know how to play with the ults and have structure around pre-planning ults, anti-ults. Like, all of those things are pre-planned and premeditated, not in the moment. Obviously, the best teams in the world are ones that can also adapt in the moment, but consistently, the teams that do well
for BBL,
in this game are the ones that pre-plan a lot of those things, because there are so many variables in Valorant. Keeping as much control over them as possible is a way to guarantee success. There's way too much shit for players to keep track of. There's stressful situations. It's very easy to forget a lot of stuff. It's very hard to react in the moment off of individual intuition. Having structure is the best way to deal with that. In the very long term, when players get better, you could probably reduce that structure a little bit, but I think the game is not even at that point where players are good enough to start removing any of that structure, in my opinion. Like the 2023 Super Team, we had some of the smartest and best players in the world, and yet we played a very structured style.
The retake is a huge fumble on their part.
And I'm going to roll your minds back. Keep in mind those words we heard from Nats on Ascent, right? When we're talking about Liquid, get those comms lined up, be assertive.
Coach once told me we don't need Valoplant, we just need to play Valorant, so we have 0 Valoplants. Is that okay? It's okay if you don't want to get really good.
Focus it. These sort of that's going to be something against Na'Vi, but they looked exhausted. I think that was a fair assessment.
This is really bizarre. Immediate walkout of B.
Or you somehow literally are Paper X.
To hold this, but I don't think the cam was checked by Magnum.
Oh, Nat's feeling the pressure now, though. Can he actually land the shot? Oh, it felt so close.
Being shown as well on the play.
They have issues, right? But it's all them and grow. Hearing the ult come through, you're already going to see.
Did Team Liquid... I have one narrative about BBL, and I think I mentioned it last time I was on PLATCHAT. Is I don't think that they quite have... I mean, I think it's hard to compare to Boaster, because Boaster's obviously Boaster, but I don't think they're the best to immediately adapting to new things. So, like, okay, well, yeah, so this was a new comp by Team Liquid, and so, like, I immediately know that Boaster and I see this comp, we panic for 2 seconds, we're like, shit, they changed comp, and then immediately we start discussing before they get, like, because we can talk once we've seen the agents, we start talking very quickly about what the weaknesses are in this comp and how we should game plan around it. And we have a very, very quick discussion about how to do it. Boaster has a very good read immediately about what he feels comfortable with doing or not doing. If we're stuck and we're not 100% sure, we just say, okay, let's just play default and just see what happens. And then I'll take a timeout if we really need like help. But we'll figure it out as we go. Whereas I think that, you know, Yampi's a very good IGL right now, and the coaching staff from PBL seems to do a very, very good job. But one thing I've noticed is that when they do see these situations where there's something surprising happening, I often say, this is how I think I would approach this on the VOD. And I don't often see them take the approach that I'm saying I think is going to be good, if that makes sense. Even if they didn't see from Team Liquid, they should have seen Talon play this comp. They basically spam B hits. Okay, I'm talking about the defense specifically, because it's a harder comp to pick out what's going to be working on defense for them as much. Attack-wise, I can see the B hits, why they would go for B hits. It makes sense. It just keeps it nice and simple. The comp struggles to take a lot of map control. B is an easy site to exec from, and they have good, decent post-plant potential. So that does make sense. Let me quickly write that down, what I've just said. Sorry, I hate talking about PaperX. PaperX will, like, I guess what I mean is, yeah, I don't want to talk about PaperX. When your if your team plays more intuitive Valorant, you don't need to like have as many Valor plants, I guess. Jata is making a point that like more structured teams usually have less Valor plants, but they might have less Valor plants, but they're more, yeah, they're more in depth. So like, quite sometimes on some maps we'd only have like a couple of actual Valor plants, but then the Valor plants would have lots of notes about like all the protocols and stuff that we need to do. A lot more notes. And then we might not make Valor plants for alt rounds, but like we know what our alt rounds are, and they are structured alt rounds, you know. Whereas some teams just seem to just willy-nilly throw ults at, you know. Hello, DBS Glitch. I appreciate the sub. I appreciate the prime.
You're already going to see Sociable trying to take all that space. There's a lot of utility here, and a bit of a mad.
To me, this is the kind of round where like I hate these rounds because so Nats is gonna pop these cages and run through. But my like literal initial take on this is not going to consistently win Team Liquid rounds. Like this is like a gimmick idea that I don't think is consistent. The idea that you're gonna flood in with these cages, to me, is my gut feeling says that this isn't gonna win Team Liquid rounds in the future. Like the round should be over by the time Nats is caging up and flooding in, if you know what I mean. Like it works in this instance because the timing was good, and it's a gimmick that BBL haven't seen. But I'd be surprised if that becomes a staple idea in their Haven defense. Did you ever get very mad in certain matches you guys weren't playing like you wanted them to? Yes. I got mad when we would have very simple anti-strats and very simple preparation, and we would somehow mess up the very simple preparation. It didn't happen super often, but sometimes, you know, sometimes the enemy team has reads that are so obvious that I will have notes like this, where it's like TLDR, if they do X, they exec Y, and then I'll have one for like I'll have if they do Y, they're gonna do Z, you know, and so it'd be like if we see this, we expect this, and so just go stack that, you know what I mean? Whereas like sometimes like the boys would just like not fucking say out loud some of the stuff, and it would annoy me. Any specific instance I can remember it? Yes. But it might have been partly my fault. There was a time versus Loud, and it was something to do with Alpha, but it's partly my fault because I should have prepped him better for it. If Loud would do their Viper wall like this, it means their setup was it like this? Sorry. If Loud did their Viper Wall like this, they played standard and would play a 1-1-3. If Loud did their Viper Wall for whatever reason from this way across, it meant that Sadhack had fucked up and he was late and was playing the A side of the map, and it meant that they were playing 4A. And so I told Alpha to start every single round looking at this door and seeing where the Viper Wall went, if it went this way or this way. And I told him that if the Viper Wall went to the left, tell the boys to go C-split, because Loud are playing 4A. If the wall is like this, just say that they're playing 3A, they're playing default. Alpha could not see the wall from his position because I forgot to do it with him in the server and actually show him, and he got really confused. I took a timeout and reminded him of how the wall going which way it explains what setup Loud were doing. And then on the first round, after the timeout, the wall went like this. And Alpha said, I think we should C-split because they're playing 4A. And that's wrong. They're not playing 4A. Yeah. So I was a little bit annoyed on that one. But to be honest with you, like, I kind of messed up. I should have gone on the server and literally thrown the walls for him and made him see actually like how it worked. And it definitely wasn't like just like, it was a little bit frustrating to me, but to be honest with you, it was just a dumb thing from me, to be honest. There was one on Bind, and I'm not going to name who, but there was an anti-strat I had where if the team sky flashed here, I asked the player to sky flash back, I think. So I asked the player to sky flash back 5 to 10 seconds after this flash. If the flash did not ping, I told him to make sure we rotated 3 or 4 players to B. If the flash pinged, ask for 3 to 4 players to come to A, because if they like, obviously if we pinged them on this flash, they were grouping up A. If we didn't ping them on the flash, this guy was going this way, and they kept like, this team was really obvious with the way in which like they grouped up after using this flash on showers. And the player, we didn't have many rounds to work with, and the player just forgot it all, and didn't use the flash at all to get information back, and it was really frustrating because it was almost like the stuff I'm explaining here is some of the easiest preparation you're going to get, where it's like, I found a tell or a read where like I give you a pretty simple instruction and we're going to win the game just off of this very easy game plan. Most anti-strats or game plan stuff aren't as simple as what I'm saying, but like when you get a good read on a team, like it wins you the game pretty much. It wasn't, I'm not saying who it was.
Like a full retake setup here towards A.
Alpha chose the short straw because I still get on with Alpha and talk to him regularly, so like I don't feel awkward talking about him because like I know Alpha doesn't give a fuck. Whereas like other players that you know, I don't feel as comfortable like exposing them.
This seaside, this garage take, yes, with Leventhal, obviously, but it looks very, very hard to handle. Yeah.
Full retake setup here towards A.
This is no surprise here. Serial, but they're trying to stick. No! Yes!
Some of the
little bit more.
definitely camo, like a little bit. It's liquid.
The liquid have no kind of attacking.
Yeah,
they ain't.
Walking.
It does kind of. You put liquid.
Yeah, I mean we would
yeah, split, right?
Yeah,
but
we were talking veto, and it does ride on Haven, I think, for BBL.
I agree.
I agree with that, Mike.
It's not like it's clear cut on the home stretch.
Look, we were having this chat as this is going to be Sheriffs and a Vandal, right, for Camo. So if Camo can hit, be fine.
Yeah, just eco. Don't really care. Sorry, I'm not doing like a. I'm not being as serious with this VOD review because I have watched it before. I'm just trying to get some points down from and refresh my memory a little bit. Nice set round from Team Liquid.
Ready for that, up on top, waiting, but Liquid double down on the aggression.
The sort of round that I was talking about.
It's interesting that
Before that timeout, and actually
BBL just abusing C side of the map.
Back to quite special, wouldn't it?
and this is to some of the things we heard Nat's fun. Very bad.
Nat's ulting again, 'cause something is
Like, look again. Like once again, all of this space. Let's see how BBL mid round this.
Look at what they've taken here.
They got garage. They got aim in control,
Here.
and then they just. Okay, we don't see a mid round. We just see them farm on B.
Total miss. All of them.
Fast exec again.
When they bear in mind they took
I just don't think Team Liquid's comp is good enough. Honestly, I don't think this comp's good on this map.
A quick turn of attention.
Like, I might be a little bit of a deadlock hater, but like on Haven, I know Haven well enough to know that this wouldn't be consistent.
Clear comfortably. Where do they want to send it in? You're seeing the util being invested. Here it is. Clear out the A site. Salvos go in. We've got the Hunter's Fury coming in. This is all now laying. Sociable gonna catch Camo. Levin ready.
Can we ask you non-Haven questions? Today I'm not focused as much, so like you can ask me non-Haven questions. I might not answer them, but
it's going to be the information gallery here. Nats actually wins out.
BBL probably game plan for the other TL comp. I didn't want to change up too much. What was the other comp? That's a good point, Scott. That's the problem with game planning a little bit. It's like if you game plan and then you don't know how to not play. Like if you practice all week with a game plan in mind, and then the other team changes comp. Am I looking here? That's why I think the approach of like you kind of game plan a little bit, but don't game plan too much. I mean, I don't think they were going to play this again, were they? I presume they were going to think that they go back to this comp, because this comp was actually not dog shit. I don't think Neon is. I really hate Neon ISO. I know 100 Thieves have started winning with it now, but like I think that Neon ISO doesn't understand why the Yoru is good. I mean, they won a few games with it, I guess. At some point, I might do some 100 Thieves. Like, I do like the 100 Thieves coaching staff, but I might do some 100 Thieves flame on this comp. Because I really don't like Neon in this. I think defensively, it's ass.
That's a big kill. An upgrade found as well.
Is there any maps other than Icebox and Lotus that can work without a flasher and maybe give us insight on why? Breeze, I think, can work without a flasher. I think. But you might as well play Yoru, because Yoru is just good. I think Breeze is fine without a flasher. The problem is that you end up playing flashes naturally anyway, because you kind of, the best agents for that map have flashes. Well, Yoru has a flash. I think drones are much better on that map than flashes. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm trying to think. Let me look at Valorplant. I don't think, I've never been a big KO Breeze fan. I've always thought that, what would I play on Breeze? Like in this meta, what would I play on this map? I would play Yoru, Viper, I might play Astra. I play Sova. I actually low-key on Astra on this map. What's the 5th agent that you need to play? Okay, like Cypher, I guess, is what people would play here. Oh no, Double Dive. I quite like Double Dive here. I've really wanted to try Astra on this map for a while. Why Astra? Because because you can just deny XX, and then on the retakes you can just smoke off shit. It's disgusting. Like, and then like on attack side, like on defense side, you can hard hold a little bit better. You can retake better. And then, of course, you can, on the attack side, like having the threat on attack, or you can also like deny tube a little bit better and like fuck around with the tube. But on attack, you can also like you can explore middle a little bit safer because you got smokes. You can explore the tube a bit safer because you got smokes. Yeah, and you got better post plant. The ult is good on this map. Yeah. I could see some chamber being played in the new meta. Like I could see G2 running a chamber or something. Yeah, I'm not sure which variation I'd run, but I really like the idea of these 4 agents on this map. If you didn't play Yoru, I guess people just play KO. Okay, anyway, Flash is a little bit overrated on Abyss, I think. A little bit overrated on Abyss. Fracture. I mean, you need Breach, so you end up with Flashes anyway. Yeah. There's quite a few maps where I'm like thinking about it more and more. Pro, do you need Flashes on Pro? Probably. Yeah, probably. Anyway, sorry. I'm not smart enough to think about it in the moment. It's hard to retake A without Flashes on Abyss. Yeah, but you have Paranoia. Like, it depends if we're talking, like, are we talking about Flash agents or just Omen Flash? Like, I think there's a bit of a difference. Harbor for Astra? I absolutely wouldn't play Harbor on Breeze. You need Cypher on Breeze? From what I remember, I don't have the stats on me. I think the stats were looking pretty good without Cypher on that double duelist comp, but Cypher does help, yeah. Okay, one sec. Cool. Sorry. What do you think will happen with Sunset and Haven now that Breach sucks again? Haven people will still continue to play Breach. Do you think Breach sucks because of the tail nerf or because of the nerf to the actual stun? The stun nerf isn't it's just like a slight nerf, right? I can imagine teams will still run Breach on both. Teams on Sunset might go towards KO Gecko because they ain't that smart. On Haven right now, I would try Viper. I'm not gonna lie, I would try Viper on Haven right now. I think what I would try would be Sunset. Is difficult because I'm not as good at Sunset, but I would try like this kind of comp, I think. On this map, depending on what the last one is, I don't really mind between these two. And then, like on both maps, I would try Vice Chamber, but like I haven't thought about the Vice Chamber. Like I haven't sat down as a coach to figure out Vice Chamber. I just know that like it feels fucking good. Like I have a, you know, from what I've seen of it on other maps, it clearly has a lot of potential. Can you skip this map? Hey Prophet, how you doing? Yeah, there's a difference between what the meta will look like. Like this is what I think is like what I personally like, and this like these are the ways I would see like more optimal Valorant. But I see the meta going into you know, Breach Sova basically on this map, and probably on Sunset too. On Sunset, I think teams have played without the Breach, but they'll just add like Gecko in or something. Maybe. Like they'll just replace the Breach with Gecko or something. Yeah. Anyway, let's watch. So BBL 8-4. 8-4 half. 8-4 half. 8-4 an attack. 8-4 an attack. This is a throw. I did like this from Team Liquid, I remember this. So instant deadlock Teo salvos to like open up on the C side of the map. They also have a smoke. So they fake with both of their refresh util. They could also get a free kill here. So I liked this opening from them. I didn't love whatever's happening here. I don't really understand this part of the map. I guess I'm just walking into B. But it's weird to fake here and walk in here because the rotations are going to come this way most of the time. Usually you want to fake here and then like walk out A or something, but
now counterbalance that, but Patek down to 49 HP.
You see, like the rotation from A has been drawn to this spot here, so it's weird. It's a tough map to fake on sometimes at the opening because if you do walk this way, there could just be an agent stood here or here. They see you and then they're like, oh, it's a fake. And there's like plenty of time for them to like fall back and delay in the meantime. Well, it might be a tight timing, but there's at least some time between them seeing you and you being able to get onto the site.
Losing out on that first kill is brutal. Oh, big shot there it is. That's nice from Camo.
This is a throw. That's why no point of watching. I've watched this before, Prophet. I'm just trying to relive the memories of you guys throwing. Look at him, Prophet. Come on, bro. What's going on? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I think I remember in this instance asking why Yampi wasn't actually. Yampi was very, very slow at rotating towards you. He was very much focused on the lurk. So I think Yampi sold you a little bit here. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he needs to help you. He's re-clearing garage whilst you are getting fucked on. Eco. Okay, all good. Yoru ult on first gun round? That's unlucky.
I'm looking at Nats here trying to progress. And he's gone down. Now he loses that fight. Didn't deeply clear, and BBL still have the bodies on the site here. Flood comes in. Team Liquid winning out on the site here, making this bonus look deadly. A 3v3 with damage done as well on Sociable. That's perfect.
Was this a throw too?
Oh my God, Kiko, you are a brave
Okay, no.
boy.
All good. So, nice flood in from BBL. Losing to a B hit. It's a nice paranoia TP. Oh god. Why? How are we dead? ISO shields in and yeah, they get fucked. Okay. Okay, Prophet as well. Yeah, okay. All good. 10-6. They lose this round, don't they? Don't they lose this round? BXX again. This is the key, right? This is the round of the game, really, right? And then he ults the fucking clone.
Plant down here. Lebanazzi does catch the clone,
Very nice.
but nothing through here.
And that's the end.
This is the turning point in the game.
Seeing that becoming more and more popular. Very well done. Play his life here.
No one clears the back of sight.
Best he can, and it's a fine margin.
Oh, God. Why are they so confident that no one's back sight? Oh, what?
Very nice.
Wait, what?
Nothing through here.
And that's the end.
Didn't that drone even see him?
Seeing that becoming more and more popular. Very well done.
Why did no one check back sight?
Camo, though, trying to play his life here as best he can, and it's a fine margin. Liquid digging in deeper this time. Big round for them. Camo still.
Yeah, that was the round that lost the
Can't
game.
afford to let this one slip. They can't afford too much damage either. You wanna keep
That's a fucking series of unfortunate events to some degree.
Sociable achieve, though.
That clone, that clone. Why, like, what even is this clone?
Into those gun rounds. It hasn't been pretty.
He just puts the clone in to deal with the cipher trip.
Again, towards B.
This MVP clone, man, is so sick.
Potential to get a catch.
Particularly pick
Great. Real
Okay.
not comfy.
Is that worth clipping? Like, that is the round that lost them the game.
again.
Yeah, make it through this. And the way they're facing rounds into those gun rounds.
Clone. I know that you guys do some throwy moments, but like that round, wouldn't that round have put them back on? That round would.
It hasn't.
This round puts you on eco, right?
It's prophecy.
Oh no, it doesn't. You're low money though. It does fuck with your economy. Yeah, it just changes the economy state so much that round.
Other side of things, Serial. One with an ultimate to his name for Liquid. 2 off for Camo once again though. It's been
So it should be 11-6 really.
Sociable. I think. Whoa, Prophet. Big shot. from him.
Profit.
That's Camo removed.
to tag as well. Drone will spot out here. Actually finds a tag as well.
Oh yeah, this is the.
Response here. A 3
Towards it's just a serial.
No, I've seen this.
Social's going to sniff this out very quickly.
Just kill the wall is the answer. Just kill the wall. Hey. Yeah.
Social's going to sniff this out.
I don't know why you guys are retaking through heaven.
Yeah, don't need to go early. You've got the paranoia ready.
It's usually better to retake when you can actually shoot, but
It's a commitment. It's just stunning.
yeah, the Yampy and Magnum should know better, honestly. Like, I didn't really go in on them last time I watched this, but Magnum and Yampy should know better than this.
Unbelievable. I'd love to get Politics
I don't really see why you would ever choose to, like, why choose to not have your gun available for 3 seconds versus just going out together and being able to use your gun.
everything right. And now there's that ult.
Also, Sociable's ult was kind of bad, but
Don't need to go early. You've got the paranoia ready. In the hands of Prophet.
I honestly,
It's a commitment. It's just
I know it looks very whiffy. It was a little bit whiffy. But I think the casual viewer would think that Sociable's fucked up more than Yampy and Magnum. But I think a coach would say that Yampy and Magnum fucked up more than Sociable. I think coaches were always going to excuse the idea that, like, you can just have a little bit of a whiff shot sometimes. You can't control that. Sometimes it happens. Whereas you can control the decisions you make. And Yampy and Magnum have made a decision which involves them jumping out of a window where they cannot shoot their gun.
This out very quickly.
see discipline here. Don't need to go early. You've got the paranoia
Like,
ready.
if you are a coach and in this moment you are getting angry at Sociable whiffing this, you are probably not a great coach. Like, you're going to be upset and a little bit frustrated that you lost the round, but ultimately, if after this round your VOD reviewing is saying, Sociable, why the fuck did you whiff? Like, that's not a very good... I'm seeing two motherfuckers jumping down like fucking Mission Impossible. This is a bigger problem right now. The clone did blind them, right? The clone did blind them, which is, again, the kind of thing that you say, oh, that's a little bit unlucky. But in all reality, they should not be jumping out of the fucking window.
And there's a commitment, it's just stunning. Palatek, Palatek, the savior! Sociable falling as well. This is unbelievable. I'd love to get Palatek's POV there. Because you at bay.
This is a series of unfortunate events for BBL, but could have been simplified by better decision making.
The paranoia lands on Serial. The PLATCHAT finds one ahead of that. A second to follow. Then Serial slows down. Sociable.
No, Patty doesn't need to hit a nice shot at all. He instantly kills Yampi. Even if Magnum wasn't blind there, he's probably going to struggle to immediately kill. I mean, he probably does kill Patty here if he wasn't blind. But these instances happen if you're going to jump out of a window. I did watch this game already, yes, but I'm on PLATCHAT and I forgot some of the notes I had for the game, so I'm just rewatching it. My memory's not very good. I watch a lot of Valorant.
We got a whole lot of sheriffs. BBL looking like country and western out here. And it's patient from Liquid. They want to get a read on everything. Everything feels dangerous. Step two. It's not fine. It is a trap play.
This was nice from BBL. So around that they stole back around immediately.
Magnum's been nasty with this. I gotta see composure from Serial now.
Serial plays a 1v1 that is... What is it with this window and people just making the worst decisions of their lives? Like, on what planet do you jump here? I would be mad as a coach if I'm watching that.
To really check on, it's so clumsy to jump up onto the edge.
It feels like that, right?
Back a beautiful Sociable. Like I said, he's timed the TP, but he actually gets ahead and catches the paranoia.
11-8.
Testing that.
Getting under their skin, but they're on it. Yampi, he's unfazed, but he's falling fast. Liquid trying to clear out this site, but they're on it. Yampi, he's unfazed, but he's fallen. Palatek trying to lead the charge. There's still bodies here. Leven, one of them. The heavy hitter falls. Serial this time wins out the fight here. Now are they secure? If you look at the back line though.
Just... Okay, Magnum gets 2.
Oh my God, man.
It's another throw, right?
Magnificent impact. Nats feels like.
Yeah. We just need to go kill this wall. Need to, like, because there's no pressure on this wall, I feel like Nats is turning around. I think if there's pressure on that wall, Nats doesn't turn around. I remember Nats has hit a nice shot, but like, why are we jumping out of windows? Sideshot rewatched this and said Sociable should not have cloned because the deadlock was already Omen blinded. That's, I'm gonna be honest, if that's not, that is unreasonable levels of decision making you're expecting your Yoru player to make in the moment. It's fine. This is not that you don't if you were to run an AI like and make AI play Valorant, then maybe you could code it to think that deep. But in this very moment, I would prefer my Yoru player to use this tool to his advantage. It's an autopilot play, but like, how many situations is it unnecessary to use a Yoru clone? How many situations is it gonna blind teammates jumping out of a window? It's like, it's so rare. I cannot put almost any of my blame on Sociable using this clone. Again, like, how do I explain it? It's like, you can't guarantee that in these stressful situations, you cannot guarantee that the Omen paranoia is going to hit everything you want to. So it's better for the player to have the habit to clone in these situations than to not clone. Good Yours will do this automatically, and they should do it automatically, yes. Percentage chance of winning rounds increases if the Yoru is just always using the clone. I don't think any Yoru player should have the capabilities of looking at all of the situation, the stressful situation, and decide whether to clone or not. I think you should clone 99% of the time. I think it's a bit hindsighty to blame the clone, yes. Obviously, you know, I don't know how Sideshow contextualized that moment. Like, potentially, like, he was just saying that, like, it would have been better if we didn't clone. And I agree, like, it would be better in this moment if we didn't clone. I have a bit of a bigger problem with 2 players jumping out of heaven. Why is this not being discussed? There are 2 people willingly jumping out of a window. That means that they cannot trade or shoot their guns, and they're isolated away from the other 2 teammates. And they're not killing a wall, which means that Team Liquid know that there's nobody coming through a choke point here. Like, we're jumping out of a tiny choke point, and we have 10 feet from the ground. Like, I don't. This is the problem. This is the problem that is the easiest to fix. Counterpoint, they look cool doing it. That is true. Thank you, Ahmed. How can you improve your mental image and stop tunnel visioning? I don't know. I'm an asshole, chat. If you ask me questions, I'm going to answer you as best as I can, unless you ask me a broad question, because I cannot answer broad questions, because it's like asking me how do I get from gold to plat in Valorant is not a good question. You know, how do you expect I'm going to answer that? If you ask me very specific questions, I can help. I don't know what you mean by tunnel visioning. I don't, like, you have to be more specific.
You said it was going to be fine.
Hello, Mini. How do I play good? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're not with it anymore. You have to factor in hype moments and aura. Yes, I agree. But also, BBL have now never qualified for a global event still. So, you know, I think there's more aura to making 10 global events than there is to making 0.
This would be outrageous.
You talk about heroics, this would be mythic level of work.
They look cool while doing that.
Just slowly following the steps of PLATCHAT, the hero of the hour.
That was mean. Of course it's mean. I just had to watch them jump out of a window. Like,
I mean, it's him that ultimately.
He's not flying though. Sociable coming in. Magnum. Oh my God, Magnum.
yeah. So once again, like, all BBL needs to do is kill this wall and go together through the wall now. Yeah. Sociable gets a little bit unlucky, and Nats does play it well. But Magnum then jumps out of the window again, and Prophet is by himself CT. So TLDR, why are Liquid not just why are BBL not killing this CT wall? Like, maybe there was a game plan where it's like, okay, well, this is going to be hard to go through against the trips and stuff, but can't we just shock trips and then kill the wall? Like, is it really that big a deal? Magnum's improved a lot since KC. The thing is that, like, I say this with love, like, because I do the same when people talk about Roaster. I don't think Magnum has improved a lot since KC. I think Magnum is playing a role that he's more comfortable in, both as a player and as an agent. Like, he's playing his Sentinel role, and he's not having to IGL. I think Magnum was always this good. I don't think that Magnum ever had a problem. It's just that he looks better now in this team, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think Magnum's actually improved. Like, I'm not that surprised. I think to the general audience he's probably improved. Yeah, maybe he has improved a little bit. But I don't think he's improved as much as people think. I just think that he's good. Was he this good in Fnatic? He was one of our best players at certain times during Fnatic. There were times where he struggled a little bit, but during those early years, he was pretty consistent. Like, I don't just randomly hype up players for the sake of it, you know what I mean? Like, when I was on desk, I was explaining that he was a very good substitute for this team, because he is one of the smartest kind of players I've coached. He really does understand his role extremely well. I wouldn't put him on initiator, personally. Or I might have done and, like, probably regretted it. Like, he's a sentinel player.
Another boom in terms of the confidence for them. PLATCHAT.
If you're Steel, Nats, they're still winning out these rounds. They've closed the gap up.
Is this it too? This is like the biggest ult of Levin's life. What is this technique? He's just running forward at Nats. Bro, you can't run forward in your ISO ult. Can you?
Gives away the operators in play by finding him, but still 1-for-1 trade. Profect now.
Okay.
Paranoia in. I think Serial didn't get affected, but it doesn't matter. He's still caught now.
As well, Profect no further.
Profect.
Nice from Serial though. That calmness delivered. Doesn't really want to go, and he's still trying to find a way forward here, but he's been caught by the trap, caught in the net, and it's time to play back through. Kiko does well. Gets back to his feet, clears his vision, but Yampy bulldozering the site. Serial, oh, just about gets locked in on Derke.
How many rounds? Yeah, no, BBL should have won like 3 of these rounds. And then, yeah, Sociable was getting, yeah.
Nats and Serial with their ultimates here. Looks like might be resorting back towards this B piece.
This was unlucky. So Nats is doing this Vision Strikers play where he double cages and runs through, which is kind of cute. But yeah, this... Yeah, I mean, this strat was nice from Team Liquid. Kind of using that B, abusing B, and then having like a strat where they basically just run through B here. It's kind of cool. I gotta give Team Liquid credit on that one. I think overall BBL should have won this game though. Rough, rough. Okay. YouTube's most important creator. This map or this game? This map and therefore this game. Why does Fentanyl feel so good? That's a hell of a thumbnail, by the way. I don't watch this content, no, but my friends do. I don't watch this content, no. Right. I'm YouTube streaming now. YouTube might actually catch stuff on the algorithm with that stuff. But surely how do they get away with just... I mean, if the YouTube videos are saying this shit, surely I could say it on my stream. Right, now I need to see how did this comp actually farm this comp? Because when I look at this comp, I'm like... I have the same, almost like some of the same confusion about the double Sentinel on Haven. Why did this work so well? I think it should work slightly better on split. Did Team Liquid overthink it? Am I creating a narrative where Team Liquid are also a team that doesn't adapt well to new things? I don't know. Maybe. What is my favorite team to watch play? G2. Looking back at your time on Fnatic, was there a particular moment, whether it's a win, loss, or even something behind the scenes that made you feel most fulfilled as a coach? I said this in an interview recently, and I need to think of examples, but I distinctly remember there being moments in which... Oh, I know the example I should have given. Fuck, I fucked up. There's often moments in which, like, I tell a player a specific protocol they need to change, or a reaction they need to change, or like something small from the prep. And when the player like embodies the thing that I've said and like really like acts on it and then just destroys, like I feel like that's the most fulfilling. Like it's hard to see a lot of your impact as a coach because you're used to seeing it in practice, if you know what I mean. Like every single day I'm seeing the kind of shit we run and I'm kind of happy with most of the stuff we're doing. And so we get to game day, I'm not really surprised by how we're playing. But like if there was like a little thing before the game or like a day before the game that like I noted and we quickly changed and then the player like acted on it and it worked, that made me feel really good. There was some stuff with Paper Rex recently that I inputted on where they changed some stuff or like tried some stuff and it worked, I think, in their officials. And like that makes me feel pretty good. But yeah. So like those moments. I remember specifically that the biggest moment I'm thinking of is when we played EG on Lotus. And EG played where the fuck did we play on? When they played this breach comp, like wait. We lost to EG on Fracture? I don't remember losing to EG on Fracture. That's weird. Oh, Lotus, sorry. Lotus, of course, not Fracture. Of course we lost to EG on Fracture. Lotus, they played this breach comp. Like, now you look at it as a dog shit comp nowadays. That you'd be like, what the fuck are they doing? But back then, we hadn't really played much against the breach, I don't think. Or at least we had like a pretty good idea of what we wanted to do against the breach. And like I told Derke how to play specifically against some of the breach stuff. And Derke basically took over like a lot of the, not calling, but like moments in rounds where the breach might be a threat. And Derke basically just embarrassed EG, I think, in this game. Like if I just like, I think I could almost like immediately go to some rounds. Like look, pistol round immediately. Like Derke goes and taps the orb. Look, he's triggered a whole trap. He's triggered a whole trap. He's made them use everything. They've exposed their entire setup. Bosa can make a call. We run onto AM in the round, easy peasy. Let's see if there's any other rounds I could pick out quickly. I haven't watched this back ever, so I don't really remember. I just remember this being a big thing where like Derke just fucked them. And I felt quite proud of Derke in this game. Is there anything else? Why are we not taking Raise up? Derke, take your Raise up. I guess there weren't as many moments as I remembered. I just remembered a few rounds just looking really stupid from EG because Derke just farmed them. Like this, was it this round? Yeah, even this round again. Derke, I think Derke called. I think Leo taps here, and then look what happens. Like, look how good we are. Look how stupid EG look right now. Like Leo's tap spike. We've called that they're gonna do this kind of nonsense, and then we're just ready. And Derke just farms. Like, yeah, I think those are the two examples in that game. There might be more, but Derke just had them in his pocket. Post buff, is Astra still worse than Omen on Lotus? I think Astra. I think Astra should be more popular without Teo. Like, it should be better. I think it just depends what comps you end up running a lot of the time. I think a lot of the Viper comps you end up kind of needing the paranoia maybe to like help with your execs, depending on the map. On maps like Split, I don't like. I think Astra is straight up better than Omen, but it's just a lot of comp dependent stuff, to be honest.
Something brand.
I think the thing with Teo was that, like, I think there was too much, like, it's almost like that the Astra kind of doubled up way too much with the Teo almost, where it's like you don't need that much util to trap with, and then your weak side becomes too weak or something, if that makes sense. So I think Astra dipped a little bit. I know the numbers kind of implied that like Omen's doing much better than Astra, I think, at the moment, from what I remember. And my interpretation of it was that maybe Omen's defense, he's more of a solo defense agent, whereas Astra's more of a team play agent, and you don't need the Astra on top of the Breach and Tail a lot of the time, maybe.
As Team Liquid have been prolific.
But I'm not sure. I could be being stupid. My initial take was that Astra was going to be a sick, but
Liquid are eyeing up here.
maybe it's also to do with the support that a Yoru might need. If you're playing solo Yoru, maybe this is part of it. That like Teo and Breach is very strong, but like it still could be rough for the Yorus TPN sometimes. So maybe you need the Omen Paranoia still there. I don't know. Do you think the Rock would be a good fit on Fnatic? Any player that's good would be a good fit on Fnatic, as long as they're not an asshole. Because Fnatic have a good enough structure to make any good player play better.
They handle it. Team Liquid have been prolific. Have been in the kitchen cooking up.
One thing I liked off the bat was, I think if I was Team Liquid and saw this comp, I would. I think I said it last time. You could abuse this Viper wall on B because Team Liquid don't have information to like. They don't have a camera to deal with it. So you could abuse this wall, but then at the same time they don't have good information on A, so you could just abuse this wall. So what did Team Liquid do wrong against this comp? What did BBL? Let's focus in on BBL. Let's like really closely look at BBL and what they're doing. So 1-3-1, they have delay on this side and can push out or retake normally, and they have a huge like delay setup on both extremities basically. So Deadlock, Sage, and Split. In the mid round, they just go into a 3-2. In this situation right here, Team Liquid are in the advantageous position, but they end up losing this round, I think. Like, having two sat on the site like this is rough. They don't have util to really fight, but the MP hits shot, so... And Sociable hits fucking shots too. So to me, Team Liquid should have won this round. Eco round, not really going to look at it too much. Easy cleanup for BBL. And then this round we see Sage Wall A. And then a kind of standard setup elsewhere. So the Sage here is meaning that we can stack towards middle a lot more. So we have Wall, Smoke, and then potentially a Trip being used to fight middle. And then we probably have the Breach ready to do stuff to support the fight.
You're on the bonus, you got your SMGs, why not have a little...
All that Team Liquid need to do is break this wall, prod middle and then make a decision as to whether they need to take middle fully or they can go back into their extremities. They can always go back into extremities. I don't think that as long as the deadlock stuff has been broken, I don't think that there's too much to worry about. Like, obviously, the sensors could be a bit of a pain in the ass, but the Sage Slows shouldn't be that difficult to go through with double duelist, in my opinion.
Nats is there just chipping down at this wall. Doesn't need to be conscious of obviously these angles.
I think against this comp, you're more wanting to go for splits, to be honest. Rather than running head on into the Sentinel utility from Team Liquid. So, especially like B splits, I feel like should be strongest game for Team Liquid.
Utility in middle being put into play does slow down the approach from Liquid, and this slows down the entire game plan, really.
It does, yeah. Doubling up.
And we see BBL leave B main to go fight middle. So,
Doubling up.
Okay. Shell.
Oh.
Net just missing there.
so like what the Sage is doing a good job at is getting enough information here to make that these mid fights strong, right? So usually you see the Viper wall come up, and then the defense feels like they still need 2A just in case because they could be get lurked on, and it's hard to get full information on the ramp. But if you simply wall off and play in front of it and play around it, I guess it means that they can cheat the rotation elsewhere. It takes it's a risky strategy in which Sociable needs to have giant balls to play like this. He's going to be consistently taking one-on-ones and maybe even one-on-twos against Nats. And as you see,
Sociable's going to have a tough time dealing with Nats. He's such a diligent player in these solo efforts. Magnum as well only has a ghost here, so should be outgunned. My word,
what do you think about the Viper alert wall on B Nats? So sometimes the Viper wall B is very strong when the opponent doesn't have a Cypher cam. The Cypher cam can just look over it and tell you if people are lurking out. But when you don't have that Cypher cam, it's really frustrating because you don't know if they've come out or not. You can play like places like this, but it becomes obvious, and then like you can't really play in front of it safely. Even if you try to take B main on defense, you're then looking into a wall in which they could just stand behind, and then I would call it like what's it called, like a firing squad you. They could just like let the wall come down and fucking firing squad you.
He wanted to get up on that box, maybe get a slightly different angle, but Yampy trying to fill the void. But it is a 2v3. Now, obviously, we know all these players are heading over towards A now. Support coming in from Profek, but Liquid facilitating the cross.
But actually, it won't land.
Another round, yeah, open.
The 1v1 gap, and it's a clean.
Okay, Team Liquid win, it's fine.
Straight away,
Right, so now we get the double Sensi middle. So just absolute asshole setup, like really just really cunty, honestly. Like this is wall, net, slow wall from middle. Like the way that I would play against this, if I recognize they're playing like this, is just leave one player here the entire round and just break stuff over like for the rest of the round, and then group up on the extremity. The problem is, I'd probably group up on the B extremity. Have someone. I want to group up B and go B because I want these two players to like be focused on middle, and therefore you're probably in a situation where B only has one player. But if BBL have a game plan where they're specifically disrespecting Nats' wall a lot of the time, they might end up cheating the fourth rotation across. So there is a potential problem with my game plan if BBL are being this aggressive towards A main. Again, this aggression allows BBL to rotate across.
Adjusting towards mid.
When's the roof giveaway? Look, I raised the roof, bro. I raised the roof.
Wants to continue.
So first layer, we get through the first layer, and now there's a fucking second layer to go through. And then they've kind of like done this is like an old school rotation where the A player's rotated already to B, and then the Vents player is now the A player. It's like an old school rotation.
Actually wins out here, so
What would I do against this comp then? I think last time my game plan was either, you know, take middle, and then probably end up in a B split, or just start the round and just slowly take the ramp, and then do like Fnatic's anti-eco strat, where you just take the ramp, you isolate these spots, and then eventually you just like crunch the site, knowing that they can only stand in like a couple of spots. And the sentinel utility is not as effective when you're going through multiple places at once, right? Like if you do an A main exec, obviously like this util can fuck you, the net can fuck you, the wall can fuck you, the trips can fuck you, the slow can fuck you. But like if you're trying to go through 2 chokes at once, it's a lot harder for the sentinels to like deal with both at once. What do I think of Zelsis as a member of the current Sentinels roster? For all the clip farmers out there, I think Celsius is the biggest fraud on the planet and should go to... No, I'm joking. I don't know. He seems to have a lot of value on the team. He's very good at some things. I think that
spring off the back of that.
he provides soft value to the team that is very hard to emulate.
There is a player obviously over on the catwalk, right, which was Yampy, so kind of a complementary angle. As much as they'd love to clear sociable, there's still layers to this. This seems very heads up. I've got to say it
45 seconds, we're still nowhere. 45 seconds, we're still not through middle, and there's a wall now A.
A little deeper here.
So, yeah. I like BBL's game plan here.
Yampy, so heads up. I've got to say it feels like BBL have come in very prepared for this. Kind of understanding the protocols that Liquid like to run here, and Yampy has been
Key things being the paint shell being drawn out, the wall.
B has generally been quite weak.
Stretch of rounds probably going to be the most punishing.
Mid-rounding, that learning on the fly there.
Eco though, it's just an eco. Okay. And now BBL going for a set play.
Some aggression here on the back of the showstopper. Off rip here.
It was a nice play, but he gets killed.
He's not cleared in the corner.
Oh, that's a fumble. And a big chance here for Liquid to actually get really on the board properly.
And then Kiko, I don't understand what Kiko's doing.
Gets ahead of the wall. Let's see. Say, Prophet, you don't want to see him get too overzealous here. Stun will come.
Camo's into Team Liquid just start. So round, what is it? Round 3, I think. Nats dies solo A. Round 6. Kiko and Camo just make blunders. Like Kiko just runs out here, and Camo's just jumping out. Like if you're playing against a comp this annoying, you can't make really big mistakes. You have to just like not fuck up as much. And then eco again, and BBL are just cleaning up every eco so far.
And like I said, foot were basically, it was almost like BBL had.
And then it's like round 6. Was it round 6? We see like a change. Did we take a timeout? So after the timeout, it's now Sage goes B and Wolves B with 3A. I don't really know exactly why BBL feel like this is now the solution to whatever they think Team Liquid's going to adapt to. Maybe it's presuming that BBL think that Team Liquid are going to just avoid middle now and go for extremities. And then they could just play extremity holds, maybe.
This would be 5 together. Looks simplistic, and that paranoia is stunning. Really well handled by Prophet. Does he get caught by Kiko, though? That is the question. However, it's sociable from up on towards the rafters. Well maintained, Serial. Trying to get a little bit dangerous here. And the spray doesn't quite get the target. This is still game on. This is a big ult invested, Mike.
Sociable almost locked out from using his presence well backboard. There.
is just terrifying, and I'm sure it's a little bit unnerving for Liquid because this 6-1, you're certainly now locked. So this with that.
Yeah, the utility as early as possible
Like right here, they should be looking at doing B splits.
to remove some of that.
All of that utility's gone.
Seems so aware. Magnum's been bang on with this, and once again. This
But yeah, this trap set was nice.
You can see Yampy
It's
complimenting.
beautiful.
I am blown away by this. It's layer upon layer. You think maybe you've got the solution on the first. Get rid of that deadlock util. Then you still got layers of Yampy coming into punish.
Yeah.
Yes, uncharted territory right now. Liquid back down on a broken purchase. Sheriff to round this out.
Why didn't Team Liquid just go for a BX at any point, do you think?
Pretty active
What
right
makes
now.
a comp so annoying or easier to play? A comp that's annoying is a comp where, you know, you could, if you don't default out the round correctly, they can instantly win the round because they put the wall down on a timing. If they put one of these walls down on a timing, and you don't realize it, then they will have 4 on the side of the map you're ending.
There's not really clear indicators for them.
Do you think AG are trolling by not starting Monk?
Made it up here. This is the first
Who
one really kind of interesting
what
race, I
is
guess.
AG and who is Monk?
It feels like an inverse
Is that the
round.
Chinese
Trying
team?
to prevent the other side. This could be the answer.
I was going to say the awareness seemingly there, but actually falls to Kiko.
Didn't they do a BX like on the
He did
eco?
actually drift a little further
Yeah, but like I mean like on the gun round. I don't care
back.
about eco.
Info that Levin finds nothing in B main.
Oh,
Wow.
it feels like BBL's aware that there was maybe a fault towards ramp, but that looks like it's been closed again. Ooh, a little mouse wheel jump there, gonna catch Yampy on the back pedal, but I feel like he was dead anyway.
Everything kind of is. I mean, until this point, everything was kind of working for team for BBL.
Looking to be dragged into plat.
Will be there.
Bloody hell have
Maybe a shift of focus here, Camo.
he's been caught.
Again, the problem being there's so many things to separate the front line of Liquid from the rounds.
This is tough for him. As much as Yampy is nearby, this is still at doing. It's gonna still slow down high. So wow, you don't see that every day. Now, well, here we to be BBL still on. We're not
Seemingly lost on the timing of the wall dropping.
well. Here we are, and as you said, agents were not used to seeing, and Kiko just hoping he had the corner. It's not to be. BBL still unfazed, still unmoved, and Liquid still held by ramp. There's been no solution in sight.
Games like this is really difficult for me, like to create like a very easy narrative as to why strategically the team is winning or losing. Like, what am I? Is there an easy win here?
You can see immediately on the player react. Away from this reveal.
Like to me, Team Liquid,
Going to round 12 here. Finally, divide being invested is off rip.
they're doing an off-rip Cosmic Divide, despite the fact that B main's been fought by the Sage every single round for the past 3
Behind
rounds.
that kind of attempt at breaking the wall, this puts Magnum on red alert. Right?
Certainly been a problem though.
It absolutely has, and with the support from Yampy, he's been generally very good on that second layer, but Magnum are once again surrounded. He's in a really tough spot here. How much can one man do? He has been marvelous, and from CT,
What's Fade's advantage in the comp than using other initiators? It has a Prowler. Like, it has Prowlers, which clear space. Breach I prefer for exec power, but Fade is better for like Breach is better for like trapping and for execs, but Fade is better for defaulting and information. Does that make sense? And people don't really love playing without Prowlers.
And I map here, it starts with this. And they were good on map 1 with them. Need a bit more of that in map 2.
So it looks as if we're going to lean straight towards a set piece here onto B.
Yeah, remember I liked BBL's pistol.
Here, they're out here early.
And if they've been slowed down, you can see the success of
The rafters, yeah. But it's already 10-2. I feel like the narrative's over by now. Like, it's done. Like, it's a done map. So, like, anything that interesting to say is on that defense side. But I don't think I have, like, a big thing. I don't have a cool thing to say about this. I don't think Team Liquid did a good enough job of checking the boxes. It wasn't egregious.
Got here. Access that second layer to it, also now approaching freely. Great start. Take away Max around the back.
So yeah, what else should I watch? 3 o'clock. I got 45 minutes. Was there stuff I forgot? I think I might quickly just refresh myself on this game. Split, attack, split. I remember Icebox. Maybe there's some rounds on Icebox I need to refer to. I don't remember this at all. Oh, Heretics just had a good start, right? They won both pistol as well. They had a good start, won both pistol. There was something on Icebox specifically. I'm looking at the radar quickly, sorry.
Continue to be an issue by glimpse of Chronicle. The poison orb.
I think it's like this.
This
Yeah, we did there. Happy to play on these retakes. We know what.
I think this is maybe a clip. It's like the idea that Fnatic, like, I think when I was supposed to be about it, but like, it's something that I noticed too, I was talking about in the VOD, is like, look how quickly Fnatic play. There's like 0 threat on the map from Fnatic. One minute 25. Like, they're very good at finding these picks on these passive lines, but a lot of the game, when they play against better people, like, imagine Aspas just walks up this space for free. Like, Aspas is just going to walk on them. So, like, how are they going to deal with someone walking on them? And I don't think Heretics did a good job of just walking on Fnatic. So this round they get space, but they're so concerned that they still checking deep. Like, I guess Heretics did a good job this round. But, like, if they are doing... They never just, like, walked out of multiple spaces and, like, threatened at multiple spaces. Because Fnatic were pretty much back here the entire time. Let's watch some other rounds. The retakes were good for Fnatic for sure. But look, another round was like... I guess they're playing a bit more aggressive here. I do like the Fnatic err towards retaking. Okay, they are playing a bit more forward here. So maybe I'm wrong.
Still there, so you have the man up to the
oh god, on the no secrets. Start of this round, Benji got to be careful. It's a double walkout once again for.
Yeah, again, just playing for retake again. Cortesia or Zena more broken, not in Aspas.
Taking candy from a kid. Still, other is good. Just right here. Even so,
which was a rare thing itself.
I don't know actually. I quite like the way they're playing. I do think they're going to struggle when teams just walk out B long at the start of rounds. Like, if a team just walks out B long, and then a team also walks up this space, and then they're just threatening both sides. Because Fnatic are like happy to play for retake. Like here and here. They'll play like behind this line, and behind this line. And so if they're like being threatened on both sides at once, or like people are just walking in on them, they're going to get very confused very quickly, I feel like. It takes a lot of discipline from the attack side though, and a lot of like composure. Like, let's say right now, like someone just took a duel against Boaster, and someone was also here, like, or even like they made loads of noise here, and then someone just walked up. Like, it feels like they're giving up a lot of space for people to find, and then even they've kind of left middle completely open too right now. But Like we're just gonna see a lot of, again, like this line and then this line. It's much better Icebox than 99.9% of teams. It is much better than 99.9% of teams. It's just there is that gap that they need to think about, I think. Why is Spaz censored? Because Spaz is a derogatory word in the UK.
Left in the cold, iced out on this map. Boo left in a 1v3, and it feels fatal to even walk on the site.
I just said it. Bro, it's not such a bad word that I can't refer to the word. Just because I said it doesn't mean, you mean?
Financial lead that just shows an elbow. Kayak will punish.
I was saying it with quote marks. It's not that big a deal. It's not that bad a word either. Like, as far as I'm aware, it's not that bad a word. I'm surprised that it's getting caught by Twitch.
Here we are. This point, they still need to go through the protocols of making sure Kayak's not here, that someone's not pushing.
It does mean that, but it's also a word that is a little bit derogatory. So be careful with even, you know. Not gonna lie, watching your stream feels like hearing ASMR, like when I am watching Slicky. Huh? I think thank you. Can I flame wolves whilst TMV's there? I don't know anything about wolves.
As much as they may want to try and join Benji on B, there's a man stopping you. We've got to look at Alpha here. Catching that cross. Oh, it's just simply lovely from Alpha. And it feels clear that someone had slipped it. Oh, that shot, though. On the angle, not able.
Okay, I think I get it. I think I get it. I think I got it.
Boy is sitting normally bullet
the way goes forward, nobody to greet him on the other side.
So they tried to get up close.
It's so overwhelming.
Yeah. Cool, right, cool, whatever. Fracture, just quickly remind myself what happened with Fracture. Double duelist Fracture. I'm worried for Team Heretics on some of these maps. They've gone double duelist on every map so far, but Lotus and Icebox. They're playing double duelist on most maps. Double duelist Fracture doesn't seem like the best idea. Double duelist Ascent. Double duelist Split. Split makes sense, but they're getting farmed. Haven makes sense, and they're farming. I think maybe Ascent is just a map they're not super comfortable with, so like playing something like this is interesting and probably fine. Fracture's the one where I'm like, I think they should be able to play Fracture without playing double duelist. Hello, Phoenix. Can you review Valen and Joker over as a Shanks and Dicey 2v2? No. No, I can't do that. Fnatic never crack Kissant. I don't know. I think we needed to practice it a lot more. Just to like make just so that me and Bosa could really understand what we're trying to do on the map. We had some interesting ideas last year. Anders gave a few interesting ideas that were kind of cool. Nothing would seem to stick with us on Ascent. Squeaky chair. My chair's broken, man. Okay. Anyway, quickly flick through this fracture, and then I'll probably. Oh, for fuck's sake. I need to get rid of this chair, man. It's a piece of shit.
Try and ride the
Right.
momentum of
Let me watch this fracture quickly. Remind myself what happened.
heard it in.
South side push that Fnatic should have won, but did not win.
He's fired. A Benji on a Cypher. We know that obviously the green line. Attitude.
Packs a punch, but you get a little
No red light.
Actually, a big momentum swing for Heretics if
Alpha in an interesting position.
little misdirection, but B side.
get contacted. Yeah, gonna be nothing. He's oh my god, look at this. How much
Heretics
detail
kept doing
can they
interesting
throw at him?
gen plays with the Yoru.
He's still looking back, Plant's not
Yeah.
Boo, he had to stick up from there, but it looked like can they throw it's gonna be everything or it's gonna be nothing. He's oh my god, look at this. How much util can they throw at him? But everything yeah, almost awkward
Alpha's tucked
timing.
though.
Yeah.
Quick question. What do you think of the three comps with 3 initiators? I think that on Ascent,
Alpha
it's interesting, albeit very one-sided, if that makes sense. Like, you should farm your attack, I think. Yeah, Heretics comp doesn't look great.
it feels like it's gonna be everything. or it's gonna-
Triple initiator comps are generally not great. Triple. I think unless you're playing like it was like a Teo triple initiator, but like I don't think you want to play triple initiator in this meta without Teo. No sentinels with duelists. Playing no senti in 2025 is asking for me flaming you. I think you need a sentinel. Sentinels are too important
he's- oh my
it
God,
most
look
of the
at this.
time.
How much
On
util
some maps you can
they
get away
throw
with
at
it,
him, he's
but
still
on a lot of
getting
these maps,
still
not playing with a
standing.
sentinel is
He
just
managed to
straight
throw
int.
out by a running and gunning re-ends. Clearing sight. They have sight control now, but Fnatic want him back fast. You can already see the kayaks getting closer here. But Fnatic B3, Plant's not in play yet. Takes back
The remaining members sit here left.
ways about it. It's gonna be rough. Kayak to now do you handle this one? Kayak gonna start that diffuse up. That's lovely from Miniboo, keeping calm under pressure. Kayak gonna get it to half though, 21 HP. There's only one time he gets to swing on this and he has to choose in
I mean, got uptick on the
it's necessary or done
terms of the revealing two side of things necessarily.
about it too, Heretics. There's a lot of bodies here though for Fnatic. He's quick. Looks like 11
Around
thing him. Brutal
as well. Just an turn be awkward
keep calm.
the issue here, to be honest.
Goes
Once again, Jan play.
I don't think it had touched Kayak, no. And I don't know how affected even Alpha was, but Miniboo's gonna isolate Boaster. I don't think they expect him to get past all of this. Alpha, you are
But then, okay, so then it became Fracture. What were the maps for this? It was Fracture. Icebox, Fracture, Lotus. Yeah, Fracture. No, Icebox, sorry, it was Split Icebox, Fracture. Doom Bros banger. The tip thing.
For their response.
Oh my god. Again! Again and again. Last time it was Woot, now it's Miniboo. Big impact. It feels like a shot
Rolling snap. Somebody off
at both from Terry and Boo. The last hit under, but
even now.
I don't know why, but I don't mind the concept of like
Man standing will have to concede.
I obviously don't like it in terms of like
they've got
being used by businesses just to like screw over the workers. But the idea of tipping as just a general, you know, social idea is like quite a nice idea. It's a shame that, you know,
I mean, expect him to remain active.
capitalism ruins it, but
Not necessarily a clear-cut response to this. Early on.
is it fair to say Fnatic's the best team in the EMEA right now? Of course.
Alpha just to say so fast in.
That's heartbreaking. Now, back from Twitch.
Right, I'll change the title. I'm not going to change the title because I'm literally going to just speed run through and just remind myself. And then I'm going to go.
Has been achieved. It took a lot of util from Benji. Took one of the prowlers as well going out from Rien's, but it's going to get them at least Woot's ult as well. I'm pretty sure that's now locked in. Start taking the tour.
What matchup I'm most excited for in Toronto? In terms of like the drawn teams or in general?
Indicating some sort of commitment here, but Kayak's
In general, it'd be like G2 versus anyone, basically.
Again, that prowler, it won't be enough. I mean, he can wait as late as he wants on this. And Crashies took the contact. He doesn't land in midair, so Kayak backs away. Most of the time, just to say smokes.
Kayak, fantastic.
All the time, the hard ones, you see hard avenues here, and obviously we see it in Wutan's here, but opting against it now. But look how far they've made progress.
Fnatic won the south side.
Gonna have it dealt with.
Silence until
Yeah, and then Heretics constantly in gen. And then Fnatic win a clutch. Okay. I kind of get it. I kind of got it.
Comfort behind that first layer.
Again, when you're trying to be frugal in these sort of rounds, you maybe
Of course, both in hand. Alpha could be feeling the pinch here.
Yeah, Woot trying to identify him. That would be a touch, and he's got him. Alpha's gone. See the caution though. Spike lost. Seems to annoy her about. She can't stand the pressure. Surely not to 7.
In Fnatic's favor.
God. Yeah.
I disagree with some of the take about I think it was something about like in Teo meta you can't do so much of the off-site play to play for retake because Teo is too good in the post plant. But I see it the other way around where Teo's too good at taking sites. So you have to play off-site and then flood in and play like even your set retake maybe with flank. If that makes sense? Like you can't let them exec and then go post plant and win. But if you try to stop execs against Breach Teo, you're in for a world of hurt.
Maybe you know, maybe you don't. We will after this. We're going to head over to Lemonify who's waiting in the audience with Yinzu.
Well, it's an absolute crime if you don't
Barefoot.
Sometimes it's less.
pick. You're playing some Raze today.
What is awful still.
Wait, what?
Awful about the outcome of the match.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very
Was
close.
kinda?
So, thank you so much for joining me. I hope the rest of the game is not too stressful for you. And I'm going to throw this back to Pansy and Hypok and see how it's going to end.
Hello, GX. You have a question? What's the question?
Just yet. Fnatic can get the ball rolling here. Another pistol.
I think the narrative came from watching G2. People who are disrupting G2's execs were winning. Isn't that because teams are just so bad? Like there's not many teams who play. Okay, I think the way I describe it is like if a team disrupts the exec of G2, that makes sense. But if you have good macro understanding of the game, like let's say you are playing offsite here and you're playing like 3A, and G2 are going this way. Like these people need to do stuff and they have to do something interesting. They can't just sit around and do nothing and then go over here and play for retake. You know what I mean? Of course G2 will win that situation. Like you have to do things on the map. You have to go do interesting things on the map if you're gonna play. You can't just sit still and then, oh, our weak side is lost. We're playing for retake. I guess we might as well rotate here and try and retake. Of course you're gonna lose. You have to disrupt the plant or the post plant. I think disrupting the exec can be fine, but it's a more gamble strategy than disrupting the other things.
What Woot can do in this. They handle what this close these angles.
line. Get the ball right
And or see how close these angles
and the front.
side to approach.
Yeah, actually,
Just fair.
effective. More
Like another fight. Routes on.
for that.
Vinny Boo, line him up, man. Line him up.
Potatoes. Let's get
Lose, however. Fnatic with a cold start. The amount of Fnatic with very.
Heretics defense, they're very obsessed. They did this for Sky too. Very obsessed with getting information on these parts of the map, but
Patient
I don't know.
Fnatic.
It's weird.
Just gotta be careful with the spam here.
Reigns has used all his util already. All of his util's gone. At 55 seconds, and they can't really know where Fnatic are.
Heretics come for them. On this right.
Another smoky still. Pressure on them. The passive reveal, not going to get anything. You can see that pause for thought here. Little laboured, but it's fine. Job done. Bo's going to take down Riens, but this is the only factor that could change it. This Judge up towards the tower, going to get down in the end. Takes and it's actually on positioning. Woot's done really well. Woot's this you.
Absolute here. Now,
Kayak. And Rien's not going to be cleared. Tries to get ahead of the stone. So
this is two thing rust.
can't really afford 9 to 6 and takes away Kayak. That's a big scalp to claim though. Oh, that's a
So could cause issues here. She able to get out. She's to Ashes. Holding down B. Can remove now. That'll be the green light for Fnatic. It's going to be forced into a awkward position, but taking any damage here.
Do you think Chamber can work on Fracture?
feels a little
Yes.
uncomfortable, but for Fnatic they've got the side, but you're looking again towards tower a little bit here with Ben.
Is one-time flash generation of Sky a good buff?
Yeah, my bad.
Maybe.
Tower like it's free. Look at this.
Do you have a plan to give up Coach and become a content creator? I've already given up Coach.
One's already ridiculous. Two's just unfounded.
I am live right now, but I have 0 viewers. How do I get more people to watch my stream? So what you do is you go back in time 5 years. You ask Boaster to be your IGL. You make a team. You play the game a lot. You get to first shot, you come second, you get Fnatic. You do kind of shit, you kick 2 players, you get Derke and Magnum. You go to Reykjavik, you come second. You don't fail for Berlin. You don't qualify for Berlin. You go to Champs, you lose to Crew. You qualify for every tournament 2022. Then you kick some players and make a super team. You win 2 trophies. And then you step down to assistant coach. And then the next year you stop coaching. And then you decide to do a lot of different things. And then randomly during the middle of the year, after helping a team out qualify for Toronto, you start streaming and you see that you get a few more viewers.
Just going to try and sit this one out, to be honest with you. Chronicles at 2650. Kayak does have his ultimate,
Yeah.
so purchase will be that 9p. Some key ultimates on there, just on the brink.
Or you go back in time about 5 years, you make a team with UK CS players called Fish123. You somehow convince Scream to join your team and make a team with you. You join Team Liquid. You be a fraud for a couple of years, and then you quit and become a streamer. And make sure you do it so early in Valorant's life cycle that you establish yourself as one of the best streamers in the game, and then, you know, farm viewership. Establish early and build a brand,
A little bit of a standoff.
and then occasionally flame your small friend.
So the cam want to try and set something in motion here, actually.
If you want to beat G2 with Teo, how'd you do it? I mean, you just you play as good as them. I don't know. You're asking, it's too broad a question. They don't have, like, they'll have specific weaknesses on certain maps, I guess. My personal take is you just play perfect Valorant back at them, but I guess for most teams that's not possible. So I guess disrupting the XX, like being said, is probably best for a lot of teams because they're not good enough at understanding, like, macro, I guess. So Kayak gets inserted. Kayak's baiting this Raze ult beautifully. It looks like they're baiting the Raze ult setup. Like, look, he's so aware. Heretics end up winning with Benji holding the site hard.
operates now in a lot of trouble here, trying to pick his target. Tower's
B
already
was
moved,
weak
he's
for
got
Heretics,
everyone
right?
here, and now there's
Yeah.
danger.
Right?
That
B was weak for Heretics? Everyone obsessed with trying to flood the site.
hard to hold for Wu. Chronicle gonna spawn.
Yeah, B.
The neural theft. Trying
Mm.
put him here. Down.
They tried to get a
Unable to ace.
for us this
Wait.
stall. 20 seconds.
Why did they push out there?
But
Sorry, it's been a very, very bad VOD review. It's because I'm mostly just cramming homework.
Can't withstand the pressure. It's about that 50
Benji's just on
second
site,
timer starting to become a
getting farmed. I don't know what he's doing.
too much, but here comes the play and bang him back. So, here,
Guardian on.
Seas goes here. Woot quick to get to that. Grabs that.
It's just map theory stuff, honestly.
It's only one kill, but can't alter for them as well. Not going to be
away. Heretics trying to surround, but it's Alpha.
Judging tower.
Oh, they take the
The other side again. It's not trying to shoulder that angle.
trade out. Simplicity. And now
Benji was kind of getting owned. That's probably kind of a narrative. At the end of this game, Benji's got owned a little bit. He's trying to hard hold all these sites in ways that are like kind of difficult.
in a nice post plant position, very unexpected.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm gonna go. If you're still a coach, what would be the one place you would want a Valorant lab to have at LAN? London. How do someone get to start his VLR career? What? Just go join a team. Go join a team. Go make a team. Go play in Premier. Who's the one player you would have liked to have coached? That's a good question. Who would I like to have coached? I mean, Nats would be a good answer. Like non-IGLs, Nats, like it's like Nats as a player. Like I'm talking about players, not IGLs. Like Nats as a player would be good. Could I fix Scream? Zekken, yeah, Zekken and Nats and Benji. Zekken, Nats, Benji. Kong. That would be very interesting. So Nats, what did I say? Benji, Zekken. These are players that I know it'd be easy to coach. With Kong, I don't know him well enough. I know his personality in real life is a little bit different than the personality you see on screen. Like he's a little bit more like he's just like a nice kid, I feel like. He just seems like a normal, just nice kid and not like a scary like quote machine when I've talked to him before. So I'd be very interested. It'd be very interesting. Yeah. I would worry that I'd ruin what he has. Like I'd be very worried about taking away the things that makes him good. What about unexpected names? Unexpected names. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. I would need a translator for artists, bro. I'm English. I can understand artists. In the UK, I'm used to hearing a lot of accents. It's not that weird. Like, obviously, like, if he was going full Scouse mode with slang, I might have to catch him on a few words and ask, but, like, I'm English. Maybe Sassy? Maybe. Who else? I think Stacks would be fun. Stacks and Buzz. I like Stacks and Buzz. They're very nice people. I think that they, if their English was slightly better, I could see them doing well in the West. Like, I had this conversation yesterday with someone about like how League Korean players moving to EMEA, like only like Rainover and Huni really had like lots of success, I think. And the person thought it was a lot because these two are like slightly more like social, more like Western vibes. And I think that Buzz and Stacks have the same thing. Where like Buzz and Stacks to me remind me of a little bit of like Huni Rainover. Where it's like they have like it's very easy to talk to them despite the language barrier, if that makes sense. And I enjoy speaking to them. Would I coach Saifu? Who's my favorite IG answers watching the calling? I don't like Boaster is probably the favorite to watch. I know it's like the obvious answer. And obviously Valen. But it's not always just their IG yelling, it's like the whole system they're playing in, right? Like the system. I don't think people realize, especially with like teams like G2 and Fnatic, like the IGL isn't just having to come up with things in the moment. It's all like a system, which isn't to take away from them. It just means that like they can only do the things as well as they can if they have like a system which work in, you know what I mean? Of course, there's going to be some masterclass rounds where they pull out shit out of their ass, but like I think a lot of the casual community just presumes that like the cooler is literally making stuff up or something. If you're gonna steal a CS player, mold them into the GOAT of WoW, who would it be? You just get Donk playing Duelist. Jing raid? Oh shit. Oh shit. Jing, I appreciate the raid a lot, but I'm about to go. Hello Jing, thank you for the raid. I'm about to leave. I'm literally about to leave. I'll stick around for like 15 minutes, but I'm gonna go. I got PLATCHAT, so I'm gonna go do PLATCHAT in 30 minutes. So for 15 minutes, guys, we'll do Ask Me Anything. So you guys just ask me anything, okay? I just got asked who would I take from Counter-Strike and mold into the perfect Valorant player? Who would be the GOAT? And I said I'd put Donk on Duelist. Run some ads. Run some ads. Do you guys want ads? Subscribers saying yes. Jing says he loves ads, so I got a good coach gives players what they want. I'm giving them some ads. Jing's asking for a gifted sub too. He said he loves ads, but he wants a sub. He's giving me mixed messages. Build me a Valorant team from CS players only, role by role. That's pretty good, actually. That's pretty good. Roll by roll. Okay. This is good. This is good. We've got Donk, Duelist. And we have Rops, Sentinel. I don't know CS well enough, but I think that... Is there a... Do you put... Is Karrigan still got it? Is Karrigan still got it? Karrigan... Smokes. Zaiwu... Flex. We need a recon player. We need a recon player. Should I put Nico on? Should I just put Nico on recon? Bro, this team is ridiculous. Flamesy? You guys have Flamesy over Nico? Is Flamesy... How good's Flamesy right now? 1.15? Flamesy entry? Bro, you're having Flamesy entry over Donk? Bro. Bro, this is the team. This is the team. Zaiwu can do whatever the fuck he wants. Like, who cares? Like, this motherfucker could do anything. Like, imagine the double duelist comps here. Donk Sentinel? Donk literally runs at people, bro. Donk is running in. Donk is playing a game that you don't have utility in as much as this game. You don't have abilities, and he's just running in at people. Like, imagine him with, like, an agent that actually has abilities. Monacy disrespect. That's true, actually. But Monacy is an AWPer, right? But he's not an entry. Can Donk AWP at all? Fuck. Fuck. Okay, we redo it. Donk is playing ISO every map. Zaiwu is playing Yoru Jet. There we go. Donk just plays ISO. Imagine this motherfucker running in with the ISO shield. Like, imagine it. Like, you could just remove all these players right now. Like, you could this is the actual, you could put Sliggy, Mini, Imi, and Nilzinho in this team. And we're winning fucking trophies, bro. And we don't even know what roles we're playing. We're winning trophies. We could sideshow that might be pushing it. It might be pushing it. It might be pushing it. Yeah, let's not get carried away. Jing and Forsaken. Forsaken used to play CS, right? Who do you think would be the best Counter-Strike player if they moved to Valorant? Like, I presume it would be like Donk or Monacy, I guess. Just because they're young still. You guys want to say Scream? I mean, Scream did very well. Scream did do very well. Zaiwu. I mean, Simple is a little bit, like, Simple hasn't been, like, playing much CS. Kenny S. Chamber. Okay, if we're talking back in the day, then, like, yeah, Kenny S. Chamber would be, Chamber would be kind of sick. Simple would be sick. It's prime simple would obviously just ruin us all. Like, we'd all be out of jobs. Shocks. Guardian on Chamber? Guardian used to be one of the best players. Prime Guardian is not a joke. Prime Shocks is not a joke either. Hi, Minnie. Is there one player that you were thinking of picking up and you later regret that you didn't? We could have picked up Cloud in 2021. And I don't regret it, but it would have been a very strong pickup at the time. I mean, we could have pushed for it at least. We could, because when we brought Derke and Magnum onto the team, Derke was playing in a team with Cloud, and we could have got him. What about the Sassy thing? I mean, there are players that we. The question was players that we could have got that I regret. With people like Sassy, we couldn't get him. We asked him and he said no. Thoughts on Paper X picking Yoru in final? What? I mean, playing Yoru on Breeze was still good back then. Their comp was just really am I giving them PTSD with this? They couldn't go A, right? With the comp? I mean, they could kinda, but it's really difficult. Breach on Breeze? I mean, we played Breach on Breeze. Look at this bad boy. Where is it? Alpha did some crazy shit this game. Look at this. Look at this. Bosa came up with some cool shots. Bro, as if we played boring on the first round as well. Where's the cool strats? First round, some cool strats come out.
It's looking pretty even, honestly.
Close to, yeah. Bulldog in the hands of Derke.
Yeah, look, Neon Wall up mid. That's our Recon Arena. Viper Wall coming in. Alpha, yeah. Go kill. And then, so we saw, you see, we did the wall up mid that round, and then I think we used it then to fake. From what I remember. Oh no, not this round. Anti-eco this round. God, this VOD is slow. This VOD is slow. Yeah, see, look, now we use the same shit, I think. And like run up top middle. Do the same Viper Wall. Then boom. We're fucking A. So yeah, there was some cool shit. It's a bit gimmicky. But Breeze was a map that we always banned, so we pulled out some gimmicks for Breeze. That was kind of cool. Alpha wasn't... Yeah, we put Alpha on Neon this tournament, but it didn't work very well. But he was very good on this map.
You're not going to know how we're going to play it or what.
But as it stands, we do see another.
What's this recon? Oh yeah, look again. Say, oh shit. So now we're going for like an A split where like Alpha just solo just runs up door by himself behind people. Fucking Neon ulting in. Demon.
Lightning gun in hand, and actually loses.
Did we lose this? I don't remember. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go because I have to get ready for PLATCHAT. But appreciate. Oh shit! Appreciate the raid, Jink. I'll be back after PLATCHAT at some time to watch watch some VODs probably. I don't know what we're gonna watch, cause excuse me, I already watched G2. So maybe some Americas, maybe the APAC final, maybe. If I do the APAC final is probably not good to do right now because APAC's kind of late, so maybe people wouldn't watch. It's kind of late for APAC. APAC should be like 10 p.m. or something, or 11 p.m. I guess. Anyway, do China? Do I really want to go to those places right now? Like I have to get into the right mindset to watch China. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in a bit.